Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Today is the 31st, and this is another video to discuss what I think is probably one of the most egregious forms of abuse. Um, Trigger warning if you have had traumatic experiences with being SA, child abuse, PTSD, chronic PTSD. I'm just discussing it because it's affected me to a certain degree, and I just want to put it out there. You're not alone. So there's that. But I sit here and I think in my mind like, what's the healthiest way I can deal with the consequences of my actions? And I keep reverting back to a time in my life where I felt the loneliest as a child. I didn't really hang out with peers, so I didn't experience peer pressure until I became an adult. That's why I took up smoking cigarettes, for instance. Like, yeah, I've been an off and on smoker for 20 years, so switching to a vape is weird, but whatever. Um, we all have stress relievers, right? So my stress reliever is isolation. A lot of people don't agree with me, but me personally, if I don't want to be out and about and hang out with people, then I feel like that's my choice. You know what I mean? Because not everybody is meant to be hung out with. You could see people in passing and you get into close quarters with somebody and they turn into a completely different person. So you have to be careful in that respect. But I feel like a lot of people don't know how to cope with neglect because they don't know what it is and they don't have the vocabulary to discuss it. So I'll say it like this: like, millennials will be like, "Oh, I was able to watch TV for hours on end and never be interrupted." Okay. Or I was able to stay out all day and come back. As long as I came back as soon as the street lights come on, I'm in the clear. Okay, so that's like basically 12 hours of time where you're unaccounted for, right? So back in the 90s, safer time, air quotes. um, you know, you could, as a child, we all felt safe to be out and about. Like, we didn't mind, but that's a form of neglect. You would never leave your child outside your house nowadays for 12 fucking hours with no cell phone, no money, and no way to get back home should something happen to them. So these times are different. When I was coming of age, I could be, as long as I was in the apartment complex, I could stay out as late as I wanted to. As long as I came back and my sister was safe, we were good. Like, I could do whatever I wanted, unaccounted for. Nobody's asking me any questions. I'm doing whatever I want to do for 12 hours every day, day in and day out, as long as I'm on my apartment complex. So I never really went to sleepovers. Okay. I don't really. I never, as a child, went to sleep over at somebody else's house. Just one. I had one best friend, but I never wanted to be like going to several parties. Like, that just seemed excessive to me. Whatever. So I guess that's why it's like weird now in my adulthood. The act of clubbing is foreign to me, but I did it in my 20s. It is what it is. I digress. So what I wanted to focus on was, I don't think that anybody quantified my isolation as neglect because I was still doing everything I was supposed to do. Like going to school, getting good grades. I have friends at school. I just didn't hang out with anybody after school because I was always training for some type of sporting event, whatever. So they have this cliche stemming from a Stephen King book called The Shining: all work and no play. Makes Jack a dull boy or man, whatever the cliche is. All work and no play makes for dot dot dot. It's something that's been passed down. So a lot of people feel like, oh my god, like, the person that you were before 18 and the person you are after 18 is completely different. I said, to be completely honest, it's not. I made a series of decisions over the past 20 years that led to me being ostracized by every community I tried to affiliate with because I had a different point of view on whatever was being discussed. So it leads me to believe that I don't think I'm necessarily right, but I don't think I'm wrong either. And that's the way I live my life. Like, neglect to me is harmful because it's dangerous. It sends a message to the person who's receiving that type of energy from another party, that they don't matter. And that's how you have homegrown terrorists and radicalized, overzealous people that are fighting for their right to believe whatever they believe. That's fine. But when you start to hurt other people, that's a problem. And I think that a lot of people have felt neglected for so long that now that's the normal basis of their life. Hold on. And they don't know which direction to go when somebody actually starts paying attention to them. So take me, for instance, like, if somebody starts paying attention to me, I get really uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable. I get very, like, why are you paying attention to me? I guess, slight paranoia. I just feel like, well, why me, you know? And I think I've been functioning like that for a long time. To the point where now I'm almost 40 and I don't understand why people deal with me and why people don't. I don't really care. But I know a lot of it stems from trauma that I was involved in. I'm not saying anything about my parents. I'm just saying, like, my life decisions as an adult put me in a lot of precarious situations, and I had to leave a lot of situations because things were being brought to my attention that I just didn't agree with, you know. But I'm doing this video to say that, you know, you don't have to use ignorance as a form of punishment, in the sense that you could be ignorant, but you could also be a decent human being, you know. And I would hope that people would learn that from what's going on right now. I don't know. I feel weird now as an almost 40-year-old person because I feel like, fuck, like, I don't know. It's indescribable, this feeling that I have, and I've been feeling it all my life, but I feel it a lot right now. And I don't know if that's because I'm dreading the future, or if I'm happy with where I'm at, or I just want to adjust a few things. But being to myself all the time, I can see how unhealthy that is. Like, I get it now, because I'm just off in my own world. I turn into such a I get small very quickly, and then people don't know why I'm behaving a certain way, and I'm like, because I don't feel included. And I feel like if people wanted to include me in whatever it is they were doing, they would reach out to me in a respectable manner, and that's not what happens in my life, you know. I have people who associate with me, and they think to themselves, like, I think it's a good idea for us to be associated. I say, yeah, that's fine, but what is your true intention? And I feel like my PTSD from experiencing homelessness, from experiencing malnourishment, experiencing anything that I've experienced up to this point, all of it has been traumatic because I never had an outlet to speak about what was going on to where I felt safe, you know? And I feel like whether it's my bad or not, like, it is what it is. This is the baggage that I carry with me everywhere I go. And it's just, I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of being this burden to people when I don't have to behave in such a way to where it causes a rift, you know. But it's difficult for me to get along with other people. I have to be completely honest. I don't understand a lot of the stuff people do. I understand things that persons in my world do, but me personally, I don't get it. So I make my videos, and I hope somebody cares. And if not, I hope somebody learn something new about themselves to get them to the next point of their elevation. Because from where I can see, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And when it does get better, I hope we all cherish that. So, thank you. Take care.